I always ask the question, like, what am I missing? How do you balance between getting too egotistical versus maintaining your confidence?
What's the ambition that you have for your organization?
Latent is in that position to actually make a huge difference in the technology arc.
What kind of a leader do you think you're going to need to be in order to realize that vision?
What got me here is not what's going to get me there. I always ask the question, like, what am I missing? How do you balance between getting too egotistical versus maintaining your confidence?
You have to be confident enough to assume the role, to articulate a vision, to bring people along. But if that becomes about you, then obviously that becomes dangerous. My measure of ego is I'm never offended. When I become offended, that's my ego talking.
I have built my entire career based on relationships, and my networking abilities has gotten me where I am today. Now, how do I balance that act and still focusing on my priorities of running the company?
There's no such thing as time management, there's only choice management. Right, 100 things on my to-do list, on my task list. I sit down just for 10 minutes, I look at that task list, I look at my diary for the next couple of weeks, I think about what's really important, and the question I ask myself is, if I could only spend $100 this week, how would I spend it? And what I'd never, ever, ever have done is spend $1 on 100 things. And you can think about relationships the same way, which is over the next month or so, who are the key relationships, people I want to spend time with, who are also clearly linked to my priorities at the moment. I'm going to put them at the top of the list.
I want to build a diverse board. How do I get my existing board, and how do I rally my investors along those lines?
Now, I really discourage you from saying, am I approaching this the right way? Because what it assumes is there is a right way. It's very, very rare that anything is 100% right or 100% wrong. Just as a general principle, think about helpful, unhelpful, aligned, misaligned, given the aspirations that I have. I would have a logic which says, given the aspiration that we have, here's the kind of expertise we are going to need in the organization, building for the end. We get committed to the idea before we get committed to the execution of the idea. Given that, how do you think our board currently stacks up against that vision? So now what you've done is create what's called cognitive dissonance. You've created a gap between who we say we want to be and how we are today. And if you've done it well, they'll want to close the gap. That sounds like a fabulous place to bring this to a conclusion, Jags. Thank you for a wonderful conversation.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate your time.